Okay, Josh, cool. So, Mazda MX-5, tell me about it. What have you done to it? How long have you had it?
How to start? I've had it for about 6 or so years.
Yeah.
In that time, I mean, it still looks like a rat. But, I mean, that was kind of the least of the problems. I mean, usually Mazdas rot from the inside out. So when you looked at the bad paintwork, you kind of, what's underneath is only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I bought it for 600 quid, and it was basically a save it from a scrapyard. So I thought, well, let's try and keep it going.
MOT failure then, basically.
Yeah, I mean, trying to get it through an MOT, the amount of failures it had, and even when I was working through it, trying to get bits and bobs done on it, I was there like greasing up the new coilovers, making sure they're spot on, then you get advisories like, your coilovers are leaking. It's like, no, I've just done that bit after swapping out snap suspension and whatnot, and no, that isn't an advisory.
So, turbocharged?
Yeah, so turbocharged with a T25 turbo.
Okay.
Running on a Speed Unio ECU, loads of bits and bobs done, all custom made by a company near Salisbury, Unit 3 Motorsport. They did that because they know what they're doing.
Okay.
I don't, so there's no point of touching it. There's bits and bobs I can do, you know, doing a head gasket and things like that. It's just loosening bolts and tightening bolts back up.
Yeah.
Doing a turbo build, use somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Or, you know, you can do it yourself, but it's going to take longer and you're going to come across potentially more problems. If you do it at a place where the rolling road is and the tech is, the chances are it's going to be smoother. But this was kind of a prototype build for them, and yeah, it's fantastic. There are a few bits and bobs that changed. It started off with the RX-7 injectors, and they were just awful. They're built for rotary engines, and this isn't a rotary. It's got the wrong spray pattern, awful. These are running EV14s by Bosch now, and the difference is just mad. It actually makes it sound like you've got engine tap, because the duty cycle is just quite loud.
Okay.
But I'm happy with that. It runs spot on.
Cool. So what are the headline figures? 210 horsepower?
It's 210 brake and 300 torque, which is about M3 or Porsche Boxster power to weight.
Okay.
So yeah, when you look at it, I mean, I've had this a while, and you used to get people pull up alongside you and the usual kind of suspects, and they just floor it. And you had a 30-year-old car with 115 brake if it still had all its ponies. Yeah. And you get it turbocharged. The similar kind of people pull up alongside, and they just do not expect it. It's just brilliant.
Awesome. Bit of a sleeper then, really, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, a lot of people turbo them, but unless you know about Mazdas, you probably wouldn't think it has it. You probably think it's a standard little 30-year-old hairdresser's car.
Tyres, suspension?
The tyres, they're not the best. They're a Nankang tyre, but they're also, you know, a mid-range one. They're Ultra Sport NS2s. They're not that bad. Okay. Especially for the budget, and there's other things to focus on financially on the build than the tyres, but they're not bad. The wheels are Weller wheels. They're one-offs, so they're banded to the width of the arches. So the arches aren't necessarily the best thing. Yeah. Like I say, when I bought it, it was a rotten body. So the arches all cut back, and that's exactly what fitted with the suspension and those arches. It's a 1.6, but it's running the 1.8 brakes. You could have gone to the SVTs, but you got bigger again. Right. Okay. It's stopping fine. It's only got 210 brake compared to some of the bigger builds. So 1.8's brilliant. Yeah, perfect for what you needed, sort of thing. Yeah. Suspension, you said, the coilovers, off camera. Suspension's the BC coilovers, so you've got the adjustments on the top there, and that's just brilliant. Cool. Depending on what you're feeling like on the day, or how far you're travelling, or if you've got your missus with you or not, you set it up to that, and it's just brilliant. Nice slip spoiler. You've got the ductile spoiler. Yeah. I've recently sprayed that. That was a battered boot. The only thing which went wrong with it, the spraying went fine, the filling went fine. Yep. I put on a high build primer and it just went and just drooped down. I was like, oh no, but I needed to get it on. No, it looks good. Nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely fine. It's not bad in places. Rear exhaust, what sort of exhaust system are you running? It's completely custom. It's all kind of made by a guy who did all the welding for the turbo build and that different manifold. And so this was off my old MGF. It was a Miltech exhaust, which I don't believe they make anymore. Okay. And I thought, I want this on my car. It's completely custom. I want it to connect it. It's got the bumper cut, so it kind of suits the geometry and thing. Yeah. the problem is, I gave it to him. I said, "See what you can do. Incredible welder, brilliant guy."
Yeah.
He went, "This hangs really low."
Okay.
And he said, "What's the solution? You know, what do you do?" And he came up with an idea, which is turn the back box upside down, flip the tips, and then that gets the height. And the tips are properly spot on for like. There's no angle difference in them. They stick out perfectly.
Yeah.
The note from it is brilliant.
Yeah.
It makes some nice throaty noises, and yeah, you let off the throttle for a bit, and it makes a big bang. Which is just cool.
Interior, obviously buckets, harnesses.
Yeah, a lot of the parts from Bofi Racing. These are the Motomex. They're not FIA rated. Yeah. Okay. But they fit well, and chances of this needing to be FIA fit anything is pretty low. Okay. Driftworks harnesses, fantastic quick release on the front. Yeah. Love them. You've got the TR lane roll bar. Yeah. That's really nice. I did have a stainless one before, which looked fantastic. Okay. But it's not going to do anything. So I mean, that is well worth it. Yeah. If you had an
different
MGF,
steering wheels,
you'd have a structural windscreen, but these don't. Yeah, that's an Outlaw steering wheel, which I don't know if they make them anymore. And then that's just an eBay special JDM centre cap. Yeah. Or when it broke, that's the solution. The dash is obviously off a Mark II. Okay. So it's not the original dash. Now what you'd usually do is you put the Mark II loom in, and that would resolve this problem of having to cable tie those up. But it kind of works for now. The switch there is there for your fan, and then you've got things like, most useful thing I've installed, a USB with a voltmeter. I've had a couple of alternators go, and to know what your charge is, I've had it before where I looked at it and it's dead, it's not doing anything. And what I found out is you've got about maybe 10 miles before your injectors don't get enough electricity to actually spark to ignite the fuel, and then you're KO. You got the boost gauge, and you've got a coolant gauge as well, and then handy phone magnet, because there's no hazard switch there.
That's really good. Yeah, nice, neat. That's really neat.
Yeah, if you're drag racing or something, you put that there, and you put your phone on with the app, and you're
drag
away.
Racing. Cool, awesome.
So you got some interesting, different bits in there.
Well, I think you've covered most of the stuff. If there's anything else, I guess anyone wants to find out, I'll put it in the sort of link in the description of the video.
Sure.
And obviously, if they reach out, then I'll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we jump in, go for a drive?
Go for it.
Sounds good.
Now we're going to be stuck behind a Yaris.
Let's go. It's quite tight and holding.
Yeah, it's snug.
That sounds epic.
You don't expect it, do you?
That's awesome. That goes right with it.
Yeah.
Blimey.
I swapped after years of having welded discs.
Yeah.
I had enough of that, and I invested in a Torsen.
Yeah.
And
transformed it.
It puts the power down a lot better, especially
there's also, I'm not saying everyone or anything like that, but there's a lot of people out there that obviously, you know, a lot older, that get to a point where they can afford an Lamborghini or a Ferrari, but they don't necessarily know how to drive, I guess. So, like I said, you know, a Lamborghini Ferrari in the wrong hands, it's just as slow as, you know, Fiesta, right?
Maybe you bought it for kind of showing up in places, but you haven't bought it for actually getting to those places.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't believe how comfortable it is. Like,
it's not bad.
It's so low. I was expecting to be like crashing and
the seats are really comfy in it as well. I did used to have some Mamba bucket seats, which I bought off a guy years ago down in Bournemouth, and they were in a speedboat. And I thought I need some bucket seats, and these were like 80 quid, and I fitted them, but they were awful. I mean, I've always had a bad back. I think from probably having one of these at an early age and having bad coilovers. You know, having it to the same height where you can see tyre smoke just because you're hitting bumps and it's melting the tyres.
That's pretty cool. Oh, I love it, mate. Nice. Nice build.
It's a good bang for your buck. My second car was an MG Midget 75, and that was flawless. It literally had no flaws. So, as an 18-year-old, I thought that's a bit too much welding. I thought I could do sills, but that's full-on restoration.
Borderline resto weld. Nice to see the turbo spool, haven't it?
Oh, it's really brilliant. There's such a range of turbos people put on these. You get a TD04, but the thing is, I wanted it to be kind of a budget reliable build. I mean, the two words don't really go together. But I wanted a reliable build. So you could have gone for a TD04, which is quite a common one. There are Subarus, but Subaru drivers, they're nice people, but probably aren't that careful because, I mean, compared to people that have the T25s, and they come Saabs, as Clarkson said, Saab drivers are architects, and I doubt they rag them. So the T25 can be a good way to go. You go a bigger turbo, but then you're looking at more lag. And this thing just kind of swings from corner to corner. Lag, you're probably better off with.
You seem to be constantly in the turbo zone as well. You know, there's no lag. You're right. I mean, how much sort of PSI are you running on it?
I'm not sure on the PSI. I've got the boost gauge, and that's as much as I know. I'm sure if I sent a message to the guys that did the build, they'd know off the top of their heads. But
Would you say is it maxed out at the moment, or like I said, I suppose you're going for reliability?
No, it's got more on it. There's a few things I can do to get more out of the turbo, more out of the engine. It's kind of at the limit of the torque without forging the engine though.
Right.
So it's well, actually, I did it as a budget build. There's still loads to do on it, which isn't which hasn't been done. It's like
big green tractor in front of us, if you're wondering.
Just trying to talk and not get hit by some forks. Brilliant. So I could, go and forge the engine, and there's a place I know that could do that, or focus on the other areas that still need doing. And I've got like a shelf in my garage which is just full of parts. And they still need fitting. So I'm going to do them, and then maybe next year think about a bit more power. But the guys at Unit 3 have said to me where I need to go, where it's maxed out at the moment. But I don't think it needs it.
No, I think you've got plenty of power personally. I think handles well, it goes well. I mean, the valve is impressive. That's awesome. No, but like I said, sub 7K in all, car included. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. But bang for your buck. I don't think you can match it. The kind of the fun factor having a car which is rear-wheel drive as well. You could be looking into your E46s and stuff, but they're going up in prices. I mean, Mazdas are going mad in prices and places, but you can still get these for under £1,000 if you're prepared to put in the work. And don't buy a 30-year-old car if you're not prepared to put in work.
No, I agree.
You'd enjoy your finance plan and be happy with that. But I mean, a finance could be what, £200-300 a month. Basically, in 2 or 3 months finance payment, I've bought myself a car. So
So
exactly. No, you're right there. 100%.
It kind of does it for me.
Yeah. It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, if you do get more power, let me know. I'll come back and get another photo. Nice to see that progression, you know?
Yeah.
Taking it on track at all?
I wanted to, but the problem is getting it to track, I've got to get there and back.
Yeah.
And
if you break it, then
if I break it, how do I get back? You're literally in a junction.
Typical Mercedes driver. No offence to anyone.
Not this one.
Yeah, we can spin around if we want now. That's awesome. Cool, well, appreciate it. Thank you for meeting me. Apologies, it's been a bit of a nightmare trying to sort it out on that, but no, I appreciate you making the effort.
That's alright.